Hi, I'm still Jay. Welcome back. I know it's been a bit of a break. I haven't been very well. Christmas as well, so Happy New Year. Salute. So here we are, back into the mix, as they say. Step 4. This was the biggest step for me, without question. This was the one that just freed up my mind. It was a beautiful experience, very painful. Yeah, it nearly actually made me physically sick. The emotions that spewed out of me, the resentments that I carried, it was really, really tough. So step 4, let's have a little read. Step 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. A searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. So what's this mean? Work out how many trainers I've got, how many pairs of jeans, how many blue t-shirts, how many red t-shirts. Kind of. But for your mind, for your morals, you know, of ourselves, of what's inside. Let's read this other little part. By discovering what our emotional deformities are, we can move towards their correction. Without a willing and persistent effort to do this, there can be little sobriety or contentment for us. Without a searching and fearless moral inventory, most of us have found that faith, which really works in daily living, is still out of reach. What? What do you mean emotional deformities? I don't have any emotional deformities. That's not me. Yeah, really. So every morning I do my prayers, I do a fear and gratitude list. Things I'm grateful for, things I'm afraid of. And I pray. And every prayer, I always ask God to remove my character defects. Or as they put them in this book, emotional, where are we? Emotional deformities, character defects. So these are the things that fuck us up. You know, for mine, obviously I can give you a few quickly. Most of you know me, know what they are. You know, I try to bend people to my will. I try to. I don't do what I'm talking about. It was past. You know, I'm not saying I haven't got them. Of course I have. Otherwise I wouldn't ask God of my understanding to remove them every time, every morning. My higher power just get rid of my character defects, because they're extensive. They will let me sit in this darkness. They will let me sit in the pain, you know, and they will keep me in survival mode. And as we've discussed, survival mode is whatever it takes. There's no room for love, compassion, understanding, empathy. You know, there's no room for this in survival mode. We need to come out of survival mode and start living. And yeah, life is, for me, becomes easier. And I've already talked about the righteous anger. I can't really have that either, because all it does is cause me pain. Yes, you wronged me, yeah. I'm sure there was some part, which we'll have a look at in a minute when we do the list. I'm sure I had some part in it, but the bottom line is I need to forgive. And then I can move forward and unconditionally forgive. Can't forgive with conditions. I forgive you, but I don't want to see you again. I forgive you, but blah, blah, blah. I forgive you, but there can't be any buts. There can't be any buts. If I chose to forgive. So if I choose to give you money, then I give you the money. It's not like there's a condition on it. Unless there is. Unless I say I'm lending you a tenner. I want that back in 4 days, 10 days, a week, a year, whatever. But that's different. Forgiveness, truly forgiving, you have to let it go. And that's difficult. And this is what this step 4 is about, resentments and letting go. So I told you this was very powerful for me. This was the beginning of freeing my head of the stuff I carry. So my biggest one was my parents. You know, life was pretty shit. It was really, really hard. was very aggressive in my household. It wasn't really children. We was all kind of just slaves, really. Yeah, not modern day slaves. It wasn't really that bad, but it was pretty awful. I was a very frustrated, angry child. So yeah, so the first person on my resentments were my parents, Bosh. So the format of this is a simple four columns. I put 5, but this is just my thing. The book says do 4. I would explain the 5th one. So the first one is I'm resentful at. What is it that I'm resentful? What is giving me the fucking hump? What is the cause? How am I feeling? What does it affect? What does it really actually affect with me? And then the magic column. What is the nature of my wrongs? What is my part in this? What did I do to this situation? So let's start. I'm resentful at my parents. And what did it cause? It caused me to feel unloved. It caused me to be frustrated. It caused me to be very angry. It caused me a lot of physical pain, a lot of emotional pain, a lot of emotional scarring, some physical scarring. It was not a good place to be. So what does it affect? It affects my self-esteem. And these are written in the book. It tells you the self-esteem, personal relationship, material things, emotional, sexual, and security. So now we slowly go through them. So self-esteem, of course it does. If you're continually being browbeaten and beaten down and beaten down and beaten down and nothing you do is good enough, of course it's going to affect your self-esteem. Personal relationships, of course it is. I carry this into my personal relationship. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. These are my formative years. This is when everything starts to develop, and this is when the emotional deformities will either be deformed or not deformed. And mine was twisted as fuck. Material things, of course it does. I never had nothing. We all never had nothing, to be fair. I'm not griping at that, but yeah, we didn't have anything. Emotional, yeah, I was emotionally unstable. I had emotional deformities beyond deformities. Sex, of course it does. Not with my parents, obviously. Come on, it wasn't that bad. I know some people do have it bad, but we was lucky we didn't go down that route. But it does affect my sex in life, because I associate sex with feelings and feelings with love, and the two don't go sometimes. And security. Yeah, there's no security, Are my parents both going to be in together? Are they going to stay together? Where are we going to go? Who's going to live where? What's going to go on? It was a very torrid time. So, what was my part in this? I'm a child. I'm a kid. I had no part to play. Yes, I was frustrated. Yes, I was not the best son, brother. No, of course I wasn't. I'm just trying to survive. And as we know, in survival mode, there's no room for compassion, love, understanding, empathy. It's all about self-will. It's all about trying to get through the day, get through the week, get through the month, get through the year. Just survive. So I spoke to my sponsor about this, and I was like, see, I don't need to forgive my parents because they done all the wrongs and I had nothing to pay in it. And as I told you before, I really hurt somebody who loves me very much, still to this day. Yeah, I don't know how. Guess I'm not such a bad guy. And I really hurt them. Hurt myself as well, and a lot of other people around it. It wasn't just a one-sided thing, but I caused it. And I caused it because I didn't know any better. I got a whole load of fear over me. I drunk. I allowed the reaction of the drink and the allergy that I've talked about to poison me, my mind, and made me act out. And I didn't know another way to deal with it. I just do what I've always done for the last 50 years. Which, as we know, is an emotional deformity now. And Musk once said to me, he said, and so why did you do what you did? And I don't know, I didn't know any different. And there you go. My parents didn't know any different. They were probably doing the best that they thought they could do. Were they intentionally evil? No. Did they do evil things? Yes. Good people also do bad things. You know, bad people also do good things. But the point is, they didn't know any better. So I had to forgive. Because I carried this around for all my life. If you had my parents, then you would be like this. Yes, if you had what they done, yeah. If you had to put up with that, then you'd be like this. Easy to blame someone else, isn't it? The bottom line is they've done the best they could. My mother died an alcoholic, fell over, broke her rib, drunk, punctured her lung, died alone. I hadn't seen her for about 20 years before this. Never really had a proper relationship. I never lived at home since I was like 13. And now I see how sad that is. You know, I'm very, very lucky to have been given this chance, these 12 steps, this AA, a chance to turn my life around. If I do a searching and fearless moral inventory. Fearless. That means I've got to go in, I've got to look at all the things, everything. And it transpires that I can forgive my parents now. My mum's dead, my dad I'll probably never speak to, but it doesn't matter. And I don't really want him in my life, is the truth. But I can forgive him for what he's done, because he didn't know any better. People have forgiven me for when I didn't know any better, for when I acted out. So why can't I do that for other people? And when people forgive, when I forgive, it has to be 100%. There can't be any conditions on this. You know, we all... The power of forgiveness, for me, is just been remarkable. Take something simple. A car cuts you up. I have chased cars before for hours. Hours. My righteous anger, you cut me up, I am going to tell you about yourself. 100%. Wrong way round roundabouts, you know, reversing, trying to catch him, keeping an eye out. Fueling myself. Breathing's all gone out the window. So angry. It's never ever gone well. So forgive. Simple. Car cuts you up. I've got the hump. I'm human. But I don't know his story. I don't know where he needs to be. He might just be a cock. He might just be a cock. But then that's him. I can't change him. My anger is not going to make it change. I used to think that, yeah, I need to teach him a lesson. If I teach him a lesson, he won't do it to somebody else. It's not true. It's in his character, it's in his emotional deformities, his character defects. That's what he is. I can't change this. I can only change how I react to it. Sorry. That's true. Every now and then I find myself surprising myself. And it's true, you know. I can't control anybody's emotion, anybody's acts, what they do. I can't control any of that. All I control is how I react to them. So let's ask yourself, that geezer that cut me up, did he really want to piss me off? Did he get out of his house and go, you know what, when I see that Jay, I can't wait. In fact, I'm just going to wait here until there's a gap and then I'm going to cut him up? No. No, he didn't. Does he care who he cut up? Probably not. So why am I carrying all this anger and this pain for him and want to fucking smash his face in? I want to teach him lessons and the right from wrong and I am the law. Wow. I'm going to give myself a heart attack just now. What the fuck? Just let it go. It's not, in the bigger scheme of things, it makes no difference. And what does it mean? means I'm now 10 seconds behind where I should be. But who knows? My higher power might be pulling me back. Might say, listen, don't go there, that tree's about to fall. Long-winded, but you never know. You never know, this is the point. Who knows where I might have been 10 seconds forward. So when you're faced with this, when I'm faced with this kind of challenge, just accept I am where I need to be. He needed to be there in front of me. And this makes my life so much easier. And it's difficult because we have this other little thing that just slides its way in there. The expectations. You know, and normally, unfortunately, it's with the ones we really love that we have the most expectations with. You know, people that we don't care about, we don't really have expectations about. People that we just nod to, don't really have expectations. And if they let us down, they let us down. It's like, I just knew he was going to do it, don't worry about it. But it's the ones we love that we have the most expectations from, you know. And this has also got to go. I really work hard on not having expectations. It's really difficult, and my partner will tell you that I'm not the greatest of it, unfortunately. But I know when I have no expectations, my life is a little bit better. Yeah, it's true. And the same for this resentments. When I get rid of these resentments, my life's a little bit better. Don't harbour, don't sit there going, that fucking guy, I can't believe he pulled out in front of me. How dare he? And someone go, Jay, wasn't that 3 weeks ago? Yeah, but what? Resentment means reliving. So this guy, not only has he cut me up, but now he's pissed me off 3 fucking times, and he's only cut me up once. When you think about it like that, you just feel it's stupid, isn't it? It's stupid. You've all heard the saying that I'm living in my head rent-free, blah, blah, blah. But I'm actually getting angry over something that happened last week that the guy that done it doesn't even know about. And I'm sitting here angry. That's resentments in a nutshell. In fact, I'm actually quite proud of that. But that is resentments in a nutshell. And we need to just get rid of them. We need to look at our part in it and how we can act. And this is the most important. It's how I react to the situation. And that will determine whether I'm going to be happy or sad. And I spent a lot and many years being sad. Many years being sad. I don't want to be sad no more. Of course there's going to be times I'm sad, yes, of course. And I can't just sit there and get the bit of paper, write it down. Oh God, I don't know. My son didn't call me. I'm feeling really pissed off. Yes, it's affected my self-esteem, my personal relationship, emotionally, maybe not sexually, but definitely my security. Look at your part. Did you ring him? No. Okay, ring him. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, sorry, it's been a while. Why haven't you called me? Oh, you're busy. Yeah. Squashed. Because we talked about it. You know, the worst thing we can do is try and deal with stuff in our own head. You know, this is where all the problems are. This is where my emotional deformities are. This is where my character defects are. They all stem from my head. They all stem from my brain. They all stem from my thought process. So now I'm trying to deal with the resentment with the place where the resentment started. Which is why it's really important that we write shit down. Things look different in black and white, don't they? You know, you can actually see. So that's this form. I will put a blank form in the thing. So I'm resentful at the cause, it affects and what is the nature of my wrongdoings. And obviously me, I put a 5th column in. It's not part of anybody's thing, it's my column. So I put how to prevent it happening again in the future. All right, some resentments, they're gone, they're not going to happen. parents' one is a done one, because they're never going to be my parents again. I'm not going to be that little boy again. So this one, how to prevent happening, is not. That's why I say this is my column. But for the geezer that cuts me up, how do I prevent it from happening? Probably can't. Probably can't. Can keep really tight to the car in front, risk crashing myself. Could not drive. Just go on a bus. You know, there are ways, of course, but it's not practical. So all I can do is work out how I can act on it. And now, the truth of the matter is, I don't chase anybody in a car anymore. Nobody. I don't really care if you take the car in front of me. I don't really care if I'm left at the red lights. There is nowhere that I need to be that these 10 seconds is going to actually make everything bad. You know, and if it is, and if I've left myself with the fact that I need these 10 seconds so bad, then I need to look at my part in this, and my part in it is I should have fucking left earlier. Because now I'm rushing. And I'm rushing, so therefore no one can cut in front of me. And now this is really just the biggest thing in the world. You've cut in front of me and I needed these 10 seconds. It's your fault. You started this by being late. You know? So this is what I say. Most things, you can have a part in it. So the wrongs, sorry, let's go back to this. So the wrongs are selfish, dishonest, self-seeking, unfrightened, and unconditional. So this is my part. You know, I'm self-seeking and I'm frightened to be late, so that's why I'm down rushing everywhere. And I'm being dishonest. I didn't leave early. I didn't plan my day properly. I'm being very selfish because I want the road. I want this. I want that. You know. So this is really important, because what we're going to start to do is clear away the wreckage of your past. You know, the only reason we have the ump is because we have a resentment. And the only reason we have a resentment is because we didn't deal with the resentment. And just because you dealt with it doesn't mean it's not going to come back. Of course they can. Of course they can. You know, you lent somebody some money. You say, do you know what? I lent it. I gave him the money. I probably knew, if I'm honest, the money was never going to come back. And it didn't. So you have a resentment. So you fill out the form. So you know what? My part in it is I gave it to him. If he didn't want to give it back, he didn't want to give me back. So it's gone. So you feel happy, you feel relieved, okay. Then something happens, you go, fucking that geezer still owes me that money. I've got the ump. Do it again. And do it as many times as you can, as you need to. There's no right and wrong way. You don't just do a resentment, it goes and you go, woo, flying around on a unicorn. No. You might have to do a couple of them, 3 or 4 of them. I have to do one every fucking night, every fucking morning. But eventually you will get, I got to the stage where I can forgive. And that's, for me, is one of the most important things, because I struggle with that. It's one of my character deformities, because I feel you've mugged me off. I don't like being mugged off. Nobody does. And I want to do something about it. I want to assert my will. I want to lay the hammer down. I want to teach you the lesson. Wow. How egotistical is that? Yeah. So this is step 4. Like I said, I will do a nice little sheet in the comment. But also, yeah, don't rush to do step 4. No. You know, before I got to step 4, I sat in the rooms and the meetings and yeah, try to get my emotions back by not drinking, by sitting through pain. And then I had a nice sponsor, very lucky, very gifted to have such an amazing man help guide me through this program. And then I had to do steps 1, 2, and 3. And then I got to step 4. So just because these blank sheets here, You can do it, of course you can do it. And I'm not saying no one can do nothing, of course you can. But just be mindful. Just be mindful. It took a stage to get to this for, because this unlocked a Pandora's box. So much emotion, so much resentment. I told my sponsor I didn't have any resentments. And he was like, okay. Yeah, I was there a whole day. Spent the whole Sunday with him. Just resentments. And this is what it says about without a willing and persistent effort to do this. And like I said before, I've sat in a lot of pain this last week. I've had my resentments. Tried to work it out in my head because I didn't want to write it down on a bit of paper. And that's not right. So, this was step 4. Hopefully next week we'll have step 5. I promise you, steps 4 to 9, man, they're just good. They're just good. You know, it's part about clearing away the wreckage of your past. You know, we can't live in the past. You know, can't live in the past. Can't really predict the future either, but that's another lesson. We get to that. We have to just live now. And now, these resentments aren't here. They're not here. That guy that cut me up, he's not living in my head today. In fact, it doesn't even matter. You know, and this is what the resentments are. And once you forgive wholeheartedly, unconditional, with no terms, of course, you're vulnerable, you set yourself up, it could happen again, if not by them, by somebody else. But this is about you. What do you want to do? Go and smash his face in? Or do you want to forgive, walk away and go and have dinner with your lady? Or your man, or whoever you're with. Anyway, on that, I'm going to love and leave you. Salute. See you later.